There has been no shortage of news this week, which means it's the perfect week to welcome back our friend Bill O'Reilly. Of course, he's the host of the O'Reilly Factor on Fox, and his book, A Bold, Fresh Piece of Humanity, comes out in paperback today. Welcome back.
Hey, George, I got to tell the audience, you have to run downstairs and you run upstairs.
Catching my breath.
It's like Richard Simmons. You should have the short pants because you're running, you're doing this and all that. It's
I'm
amazing.
actually impressing Bill O'Reilly.
I couldn't do that. I'd have a heart attack on the stairwell, and then Champion have to do all the interviews.
I was going to ask, do you want to weigh in on Dancing with the Stars?
Do I? I get dizzy watching that show. Don't you get dizzy? I'm taking a Dramamine watching Pamela Anderson in 3D or whatever they're doing out there.
She's also
I compete with that show, so we hate it. We hate them.
Yeah, you don't like it.
No, because they siphon off a few viewers from us, and I'm doing the mambo out there, once in a while on my show, but obviously making ABC a lot of money, no doubt.
So you're not going to go and try to be a contestant next year?
No, I'm not I can do a great Jim Morrison of the Doors, but I cannot dance. Irish guys, very few Irish guys can dance.
I sympathize. Greek guys go along with that. Let's talk about some of the news of the week. We saw, just outside our door here Saturday night, pretty close, a failed attempt. How do you assess the reaction since then? We saw Ray Kelly earlier this morning saying, hey, 53 hours, we got the guy.
Well, look, the United States of America is at war. That's number one. And this is a reminder that the war is not just in Afghanistan and Iraq and Pakistan, and it's here. That's the most important thing that comes out of this. Secondly, the United States federal and local authorities are competent. All right? They know what they're doing. Thank God. The technology helps out. You got cameras all over the place
82
here.
cameras around Times Square.
Yeah, the ACLU doesn't like that, and I've said it from the jump. I don't like it either, but, hey, these people want to kill us, and if the cameras are going to save our lives, we've got to have the cameras. So there are lessons learned in here. I don't like the political correctness. I think Mayor Bloomberg made a big mistake going out going, in this city, you better not bother any Pakistanis. Hey, nobody wants to bother any Pakistanis in New York City, Mayor. All right? And then he goes, it's just a few bad apples. It's not just a few bad apples. This has been going on for 20 years.
It has, but we're in a new phase of this war now, and I agree with you, it is a war right now, and it seems like we're in a new phase. We've heard for more than a decade that al-Qaeda's game is the big spectacular attack, the 9/11 type attack, and we hadn't seen these small strikes. Now we're seeing them in Arkansas. We saw it at Fort Hood. We saw it here. How do you defend against that?
Well, it's a different group. This is the Taliban, I understand, that this guy was training with, all right? So it's not al-Qaeda.
We think. We're not positive.
It looks, well, that's the information flow that we're getting. It could change, of course. Look, al-Qaeda has been decimated by first the Bush administration. It's the best thing they did, Bush Cheney. They decimated al-Qaeda. And President Obama has continued that with the drones and things like that.
Fewer than 100 in Afghanistan now.
So al-Qaeda is badly, badly damaged. How effective they can be from now on, nobody knows. But this Taliban outfit now has filled the breach, and they're sending out the underwear guy and this guy, and yeah, they're not that competent, but they're going to get lucky. They're going to get lucky. And it's a shame now I have to say that, but it's going to happen. Maybe it won't happen in the United States. It might happen overseas. But they want to kill people, innocent people. That's what they want to do. So let's call it what it is.
But what is it?
It's killing, it's homicide. That's what it is. It's a bunch of Muslim jihadists, not a few bad apples, a bunch of them worldwide who want to kill innocent people because they think Allah demands it. That's how insane this is.
You were talking about political correctness a minute ago, and Mayor Bloomberg, he has another proposal, something he's very angry about. He's saying people on the terror watch list should not be able to buy firearms. Doesn't that make sense?
He thinks on the watch list should not be able to buy firearms? Yeah. I don't think they should be able to go out of their house. But, so I don't disagree with him on that. But it's just a matter of, look, how do you control these people? If they're on the watch list, they still have rights. And if there is a legal right to buy a firearm, then you have to make an exception and carve it out. It gets complicated. I'm more interested in basically the tone the mayor is setting. I thought he got a bad deal when he was riffing about, well, this could have been somebody who didn't like the health care. And he wasn't directing his comments specifically at that. He was just riffing, and I thought it was unfair for the right wing to attack him. But then when he gets out and says, it's just a few bad apples, I said, wait a minute. I'm a New Yorker. All right, I know people who died on 9/11. It's not just a few bad apples. There's a big money jihad directed at us. Wise up, Mayor.
And they're going to be coming back, as you say. Let's switch gears a little bit. That massive oil spill down in the Gulf of Mexico. You see all the politics around it. Whenever something like this happens, there's going to people turn it into political fodder. Mike Brown, head of FEMA under the says the Obama administration wanted
Yeah, he said that on Fox News, and immediately I would have slapped him if he were on The Factor, but he was on another program. Look, everybody politicizes everything these days. Here's the truth about the oil spill. The federal government acted slower than it should have, just as Bush acted slower than he should have in Katrina. So there's parallels there.
But is this Katrina?
Why? Because BP told them we have it under control. But even if the federal government and President Obama had acted quicker, what could they have done? Are you going to put Obama in a dive suit and send him down there with a little rake? What are you going to do? What could he have done? They can't cap it now. Is Obama going to go down and cap it? So this is insane. I think that everybody needs to pull back a little bit and say, this happened. It shouldn't have happened. BP, totally responsible. British Petroleum,
pay every penny.
He's got to pay. They got to pay every bill. Every Pelican who gets wounded, they got to pay the Pelican's mom. All right? So there's no excuses. It's BP. The federal government can't really do much about it, and we just have to live with it.
But coming out of it, the president is going to have to make a decision. He had upset a lot of people in his own party, in his own base, when he said, I'm willing to expand.
Look, again, wind is great. Solar is great. We're not going to see it in our lifetime. It's not going to happen. So how do you want to run your country? There's only one way to run it, fossil fuels right now. You want nuclear energy? I do. Let's get it up and running. But for 30 years, this country did nothing. The Kennedys blocked the windmills in the Nantucket Sound, okay?
It's going to open up
so
now.
So right now we are, and we're not going to drill. All right, so let's bring back the covered wagons then. Come on, let's bring them in. Bring the horses back.
This accident doesn't give you pause?
No, because you're always going to have accidents in any industry. This isn't a perfect deal. Yes, am I mad at BP? Sure. If we find out that they didn't do what they should do, we should sue their butts off. But you don't say, we're not going to drill anymore. And I'm not a big drilling guy. I mean, but there's no other alternative. There's none. It's either we get fossil fuels and run our country, or we don't. That's it.
Okay. Bill, it is always great to have you here. I'm going to make a run up and down the stairs.
Yeah, I'm going to run with you. I'm going to run with George. We're going to go down. Is there anybody else dancing we can interview down there?
Joan Lennon's coming
get
up.
Bold, Fresh, and Paperback.
Well, there it is, right there. Bold, fresh
it's
piece
fun.
of
Mom will like it for Mother's Day, and Dad will like it for Father's Day.